And we are live from the heartland of America and from my heart to yours. I'm Jeffey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, and it's time to unindoctrinate yourself. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. You don't have original sin. You got the spark of divinity within. You don't need to go on bended knee because you don't need salvation. And they don't have the only Savior like they save. And today we're going to talk about all prophecy is a huge psyop. And we're going to be going into the fact that all Bible prophecy is one Bible prophecy. Now, I've got to tell you, folks, prophecy is probably, we all have at least the spark, Mike. Prophecy is at least it's the adrenochrome that keeps you hooked on Christianity. Boom. Melding the two things that we were talking about prior to the show, and we're not going to go down that road today. But prophecy is the adrenochrome. Prophecy is the crack. Prophecy is the Kool-Aid that keeps you tied to Christianity. And prophecy is the Kool-Aid that these so-called prophets keep feeding you to keep you tied to Christianity. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. I wish I had a cigar right now. Oh, man, that's amazing. Prophecy really is the Kool-Aid. When they say don't drink the Kool-Aid, they're saying don't participate in the prophecy, because the prophecy is the thing. It's the Kool-Aid. It's the thing that tickles your ears. It's the thing that you hunger for. It's the thing you got to get your fix from. It's the prophecy. And it's the prophecy that allows these mongrels, these subhumans, to say they're prophets and they know better than you and talk to you from high angles like they're in heaven and you need to look up to them. Oh, it all comes together. It's the Kool-Aid, and it's the prophecy Kool-Aid. The prophecy Kool-Aid is what it is. It all makes sense. It all comes together sooner or later. And all prophecy is a huge psyop. And now we know prophecy is the Kool-Aid. And we are a couple of sessions into this, I think. Let me go ahead and make it look the right way so we don't have to be, so we don't have to look at things in a different way, a funny way, a less comfortable way. Damn, that's so amazing. Prophecy is the Kool-Aid. And prophets are the Kool-Aid providers. They all want you to drink some Kool-Aid. Drink some Kool-Aid. Oh my, that's beautiful, beautiful stuff. All prophecy is a huge psyop. What does prophecy literally mean? Prophets are pitchmen or pitch women working for some working for some entity, and some entities pulling their strings, and they're pitchmen for and pitch people for that entity. No one else in this genre has the background and the qualifications. I'm the best in the world at what I do. You know that. I'm Le Champion. You knew that, but we'll go past that. You can't trust a true believer, because a true believer is hooked on Kool-Aid. A true believer is hooked on adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is the Christian adrenochrome, but adrenochrome is the cheap-ass Christians' adrenochrome, the ones that can't get the good stuff. They keep the good stuff for the elite, and you get Kool-Aid. And the Kool-Aid is the, hey, Kool-Aid! Yeah, that is, ladies and gentlemen, the adrenochrome. And you can't trust a true believer, because in the middle of every believer is lies. And the reason is because once you believe in something, I'm a Christian, I follow Yeshua, I follow Yahashua, I follow Big Daddy, I follow Big Mama, I follow this, I follow that, I'm in the atonement, I'm under the blood, I'm picking up my cross, I need a friend in Jeebus, any of that stuff. You believe. And the second you start believing, you stop researching. You're incapable. A true believer is incapable of true objective empirical research. Until your give a damn is busted, you can't be trusted. How do I do that? How does it happen? That's gold, Jerry. Gold. Until your give a damn is busted, you can't be trusted. Somebody write that down. It's the truth. Because until your give a damn is busted, you can't be trusted to be objective. Because until your give a damn is busted, you can't be trusted because you've got confirmation bias. People that believe don't study. People that believe go through information looking for things that they can say, oh, yeah, that proves it. People that believe go through data and try to find stuff that already lines up with what they believe. They're looking for confirmation bias. They have got the cognitive dissonance that prevents them from being real researchers. That's why I'm the best in the world at what I do, because I'm the only one with a give a damn that is both broken, busted, and disgusted. That's why I am le champion of biblical interpretation, because my give a damn busted long time ago. And since my give a damn is busted, I can be trusted because I don't have anything to prove. I don't have any doctrine to defend. And I almost said something that would have been really funny, but I'm not going to say it because I'll just say something else that's really funny. Boy, that's a revelation right there. That's also why they won't debate, because all they have is, I believe. Well, that's not good enough. You got to have impartial, objective facts. Daniel wasn't a prophet. Daniel had knowledge and skill and learning and wisdom. He was a remote viewer. He gave us a great remote viewing of the events of 70 AD. We talked about that. And Daniel could perceive dreams of kings. You're settling for a prophet. You're settling for a guru when you should be refining that spark of divinity, breaking it into a flame to where you can understand, you can perceive the dreams, the desires, the plans. You can begin to learn the plans of the ruling cabal. Daniel discerned and disclosed the plans of the cabal. You are a man, you are a woman just like Daniel. I was going to say Daniel put his pants on one leg at a time, but he's more like you ladies. He put his dress on one leg at a time. We can be just like Daniel. We can discern the thoughts and plans of the ruling cabal. We can discern the thoughts and plans of the little God that runs this place. But you are content to take the prophecy of some psychopathic lunatic, and they all are, it's just a matter of degree, that tells you what's going to happen. They rob you of your future by telling you what's going to be. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let anybody steal your future by telling you what's going to happen. You know what the best way to make your future is? To make your own damn future. That's what being divine's all about. That's what being sovereign's all about. And that's what's being free and free indeed is all about. Come on now. Somebody give me a witness. Can I get a witness? Prophets work for the cabal. We are in the business of busting the cabal. Prophets work for little GODs. We just work for you and me. There's a new sheriff in town. Go look in the mirror and you'll see that new sheriff. There's a new sheriff in town because we shot the deputy with the truth, shot him down, exposed him as being a clown, and took over the town. That's where we are, folks. That's where we are. Daniel gave us a great disclosure. We looked at modern prophecy and prophets. We understand that there's no original Old Testament. None of it survived 70 AD. All of the New Testament, all of the Old Testament was written since 70 AD. All prophecy is Roman prophecy. You've been duped. All scripture destroyed in AD 70. It got rewritten by Jewish scholars, bought and paid for by the Roman Empire. It got written by Christian scholars, bought and paid for by the Roman Empire. Every piece of scripture we have was rewritten by Rome. And you know what's really funny? The Old Testament today, the New Testament today, the New Testament's probably older than the Old Testament because they wrote the New Testament first, or they were written concurrently, and the New Testament's little bitty, and the Old Testament's great big, so they finished the New Testament first. It's all completely screwed up and discombobulated, and you can't even understand it. Those of you that are visiting, you can't even understand it because it's like, what? How is this possible? You can't get your mind around it because you're too indoctrinated. You got blood poisoning. You still believe. You know, it says all things are possible to them that believe. All things are possible to them that believe. This shit's only possible. The shit they tell you, it's only possible when you believe. Period. It's only possible when you believe. Because when you believe, you'll take a lie and swallow it and let it sit right down in the middle of you. These scriptures don't mean what you think they mean. And what does this say about the prophets and the people that call themselves prophets? We learned about Daniel hearing angel radio. We learned about the destruction of Jerusalem being Daniel's 70th week, being the abomination of desolation. We broke it down like MC Hammer. And then, folks, we broke it down like MC Hammer. We continued to break it down like MC Hammer. And this is what Daniel said. Here's a summation of Daniel as remote viewer. And we already proved this. You can go back and look at the last episode. Vespasian will make a covenant of ritual sacrificial cannibalism with a people that will be reduced to having nothing. His army will come and destroy both city and temple with a swift striking flood of fury. He'll make an additional covenant with the people, and halfway through the week will show his real plan, and the sacrifice and the offering will be gone forever. The insects and vermin and birds we saw will eat of the dead until the decreed destruction is poured out and not one stone remains on another. Direct Greek to English, boom. There it is. And we get to tonight's subject. And remember, folks, that this channel is proudly sponsored. We don't shirk around. We don't back it in. We are proudly sponsored by Mystech. You got a great little off-the-cuff talk today between Halo and I. He talked me off of a ledge. I do listen to people in their areas of expertise. And Mystech will tune you to the ideal Schumann resonance of the earth. I wear them all the time. That's why they put your blood in harmony instead of chaos and make your blood flow beautifully. They kill pathogens. It prevents external things from making you sick. And it just allows you to live on a higher plane. And you know what? I just thought about this. I have to talk to Halo about this, but I'll bet that almost no Christians wear Mystech. You can't wear Mystech and still be caught in the fear and guilt, blood magic, cross atonement, blood poisoning matrix. I'll have to ask Halo about that. Make a note to call Halo. Make a note to call Halo. Call Halo regarding exgens. That's a good one right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good one. What if all Bible prophecy was one prophecy? What if prophecy is a made-up game by your controllers? And it is, and we're going to show you. Remember, there's no ancient scripture. All scripture is the same age. Actually, the New Testament's probably older than the Old Testament. Think about that. Remember, it all got destroyed in 70 AD. And it was all rewritten. And it was all completed by around 150, 200. And it was all rewritten under the auspices of the Roman Empire. So all prophecy leads to Rome. Picture this, if you will. Think about this. Think about this. The Old Testament's been destroyed. It's gone. All of it, gone. Gone. So you get hired to rewrite it. Rome puts you in a nice house. Rome gives you some money. Rome gives you some clothes. Rome gives you that cute little hat to wear on the back of your head, all you need. And they say, okay, rewrite the New Testament. Go. It's 1,000 pages from memory. How accurate is the result gonna be when compared to the original? And we're not even talking about how accurate was the original. Where did it come from? Do you realize that most of you, if you're a visitor, if you're new to this channel, most of you are basing your eternity on a 1,000-year telephone game, probably longer. When was the Old Testament originally written, if it was? They tell us, what, 2, 3, how many thousand years? And you're betting your eternity on at least 1,000-year telephone game. Remember, Johnny, here's the thing. Tell it to Susie. Susie, tell it to you. And it goes down the line, and what comes out is completely different than what went in. Wow. Wow. I will prove to you in just the next few minutes that Daniel, Matthew 24, and Revelation are the same event. Actually, I won't. I'll prove to you that Daniel and Matthew 24 are the same event. And tomorrow we'll probably prove to you that Daniel, Matthew 24, and Revelation are the same event. What have we proven so far? That Daniel was about the destruction of Jerusalem. We proved that in the last podcast in this series. So go watch it after this one. We know that Daniel's main identifier is this thing called the abomination of desolation. Stay on subject or you will be kindly removed from the chat. We love you, but this is our channel. We got business to do. We're not just playing here. We know that Matthew 24 and the parallel passages identify the destruction of Jerusalem as the abomination of desolation. I'm getting ready to prove that. And if I can prove that, that makes Daniel and Matthew 24 one and the same event. Are you ready? Ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready for this? We're going to look at the abomination of desolation. And it's covered in 3 places in the Roman Testament. I don't even call it the New Testament anymore. We'll just call it what it is. It's the Roman Testament, written by Rome, made up by Rome. And the New Testament, the Old Testament is the Jewish Testament, the Flemish Testament. Is it Flemish? Yes, it's the Flemish Testament. And the boxes for these words is below. I might change some of these because it's a little bit problematic when you start trying to do a lot of biblical exegesis on this. But it's the Old Testament is the Flemish Testament. The New Testament is the Roman Testament. So in the Roman Testament, you got Matthew talking about it. You got Mark talking about it. You got Luke talking about it. And there's a reason why it's put in that order. Matthew, Mark, Luke, they wrote it all at the same time. They put it together in this order because this is the way they want to bring it to you. So Matthew, Mark, Luke. Just wanted to give you an overview. Let's look at each one of them individually. But first, let's look at our source, which is Daniel. And we're going to do stuff that nobody else does. And we do it all the time. It's the way we do business around here. It's the way we do business around here. We get into the scripture. We show you the scripture, but we don't use it as a point of departure. We break it down word by word. and show you what the text says, because the text doesn't care what you think, and the text don't drink Kool-Aid, and the text don't serve Kool-Aid. Maybe instead of get that con out of my face, it should be get that Kool-Aid out of my face. Not quite as funny. But we're talking about Daniel chapter 9, starting at about 24 and going through to 27. The abomination shall make it desolate. That's what we're talking about with the abomination of desolation. We spent a whole show on it last time. I won't break that down, but this is what we're talking about. The linking to Daniel, the abomination that makes desolate, or the abomination of desolation coming out of Daniel's 70th weeks, actually being Daniel's 70th week. So now let's go to Matthew 24 and start talking about the abomination of desolation, showing you that the teachings of Daniel's abomination of desolation, which the Kool-Aid servers want to tell you is coming in the future. But it's way in the past. And we're going to show you that. Matthew 24:15 is where Herodestu starts to talk about it. Matthew 24:15. And it's very plain. And I love how the Romans, they're rat bastards of the rat bastard. I think, and this is another show, but I think in AD 70, the Romans defeated the rat bastard. And if the rat bastard's still around, he's Rome's bitch. I don't even know if he's still around. But I love how they do this. They write the King James Version, the KJV, which is a lot like the NWO, if you saw our earlier show today. Because it'll tell you all the lies that are trying to keep you hooked into the fear and guilt control matrix. But yet, they show you things like this, which are parallel passages, which flesh out and let you know the key to what's really being pulled over your eyes. But most of you are too damn lazy. Most of you just want to sit and be served Kool-Aid by a Kool-Aid server, a Kool-Aid waitress. But those of you that actually look and study, and if you're here, you've got that in you. You may be getting served up by the waitress right now, but you've got the desire. You know there's something wrong with the Kool-Aid. You know it just ain't right, or you wouldn't be here. And don't expect to get it the first time or the second time. But don't count out possibly getting it the first time or the second time. So when you shall see the abomination of desolation. What did Daniel talk about? The abomination of desolation. So when you see the abomination of desolation, and just in case you aren't really sure, well, Jeff, how do you know that's the one talking about by Daniel? Well, when you shall see the abomination, oops, I'm not showing you. Dang it. I hate it when that happens, but it's no problem. I'll just show you. There you go. See, it's easy. Don't get worried. When you shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. These people that he's writing to already saw the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. That's why it's so great when you win and you can write prophecy and you can write it after things happen and you can backdate it and you can really be accurate that way. You really can. But when y'all saw the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, and not only did you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, you saw it with your eyes. All of them saw it. And why did they see it? Because it was standing in the holy place. Oh, Jeff, that means in the Holy of Holies, and only the priest, only once a year. No, it doesn't. Stay tuned. You got to stop believing. Forget what the song says. You got to stop believing. You got to come objective. And if you can do it for 10 minutes, I promise you, I'll show you that's not the Holy of Holies. It'll forever be cleared up in your dome. But you'll see it stand in the holy place. And when you do, get the hell out of Dodge. Flee Judea. Go. The people that read this saw this, so they knew exactly what it was. Y'all didn't see it. You weren't there. And you've had 2,000 years of Kool-Aid dealers telling you what it means. But we're fixing to clear that up for you. But these people were going to see it, and they did see it. And it's the abomination of desolation, and it's the one spoken of by Daniel the prophet, and it stood in the holy place. And when you saw it, get the hell out of Judea. If it was in the Holy of Holies, how many people would have seen it? One. Was this written just for the high priest? Hey, Mr. High Priest, when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, where only you can go, then run. Of course it didn't mean that. And how do we know it didn't mean that? Because we got two other reports of the same event. Oh, you mean you're not going to tell me now what you think? No. You're not going to use this as a point of departure and talk about for the next 45 minutes about what you believe and how you feel? No. I'm going to show you what the text says, because the text doesn't have feelings. Text doesn't serve Kool-Aid. Text doesn't care what you think, or your guru, or your mama, or your nana, or your daddy. Okay, so that's Matthew. When you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel stand in the holy place, get out of Dodge. Mark. When you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, we got that part, right? And when you see it standing where it ought not, let the reader understand. Oh, now they're talking to bitches that weren't there. The ones that were there know, they get it. They understand exactly what it was. But now it's for us that didn't see it. And we just read, when you see it standing in the holy place, that we should leave, but we don't go into the holy place. But now we know, oh, if we see it standing where it shouldn't be, if there's an abomination of desolation standing where it shouldn't be, let him understand, there's like a puzzle here. It's a little code. We all like a code. So there's going to be abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, and we know Daniel talked about it. And if you think about what Daniel talked about, he talked about the people, the prince that will come shall destroy the sanctuary and the city. We need to look at that. Remember what is these people have in view here, what these people have in their mind. The abomination of desolation. This is what they've got in their mind. And as they're reading this abomination of desolation, what are they thinking about? What's in their brain? What are they remembering? What are they remembering? Well, they're remembering this, obviously. They're remembering the words of Daniel when he talked about the abomination of desolation. Remember, Daniel talked about, and he talked very plainly and clearly about this. And if you're reading it in that time, or if you're reading it in this time, if you've read Daniel, then you're understanding that you're talking about a prince that shall come. You're talking about a prince that shall come and destroy the city and the temple. Oh, okay. So I remember that I'm talking about a prince that's going to destroy the city and the temple. Abomination of desolation is a prince destroying the city and the temple. It was spoken of by Daniel. When I see it standing in the holy place, oh, the temple, the city, the sanctuary. Oh, yeah. And then when you got Mark saying standing where it doesn't belong, oh, yeah, this army of people that Daniel talked about shouldn't be standing in Judea where you see it. But you know what? This is what I like about this. You don't even have to be able to use your brain like this. If you're not drunk ass on Kool-Aid, you can get this really, really easy. See how it's so easy. But this just nails it. Luke. Oh, damn, he does make it really easy. And when you see Jerusalem compassed about with armies. Oh, yeah, that's what Daniel said. The people of the prince that will come shall destroy the city. They'll destroy the sanctuary. It'll be an abomination that'll make desolate. Oh, yeah, it's Jerusalem compassed with armies. Now, if you were there and saw that shit, you don't need this. You got it. But for those of us that weren't there and didn't see it, we're like, oh, damn, yeah, that makes some sense. But you see, it's not for every damn body. This ain't for this game is not to get the most subscribers. Even though most people think this game is to get the most subscribers. It's not. That's not what this game is about. This game is about, and it is a game, life's a game, and those that are good at life know it's a game, and those that are really good at life play to win. That's why we win, and we win again. This is not a game about who gets the most subscribers. This is a game about who gets the right subscribers. You know who the right subscribers are? The right subscribers are the people that will say, when you see the abomination of Daniel stand in the holy place, whoso reads, let him understand. The right subscribers are the ones that say, oh, well, let me go back and look at what Daniel said. And then they do what we just did. Oh, abomination of desolation, prince comes, destroys city, destroys sanctuary. So the abomination of desolation is about destroying the city, destroying the sanctuary. Standing in the holy place, that has to do with the temple. Let me go to where else they talk about this. Okay, let me go to Mark. Mark says, when you see the abomination standing where it ought not, understand, oh, Daniel, temple, sanctuary, destruction, holy place where it should not. Oh, shit, do they mean around the temple? And then you go to Luke, and Luke says, boom, when you see Jerusalem surrounded with armies. Why didn't they just write that first and forget the other ones? Because it's a code. Why do you write a code? Because you don't want everybody to know. When you write a code, you just want some people that are of a certain mind to get it. Jeff, you mean you don't want everybody to be a subscriber? No, not really. Not really. Why do you think I work so hard to run off as many as we got? We literally, if everybody that ever subscribed stays subscribed, I'd have over 100,000 subscribers. But we call the herd regularly, like Tracy Dyer says, because we're not looking. The game is not the most subscribers. That's a game that any bitch can win. This is the right subscribers, the ones that will go. Because do you realize what you got to do there? Do you realize what you got to do? You start off in Daniel, that's one layer. Then you go to Matthew 24, 2 layers. Then you go to Mark, 3 layers. We're looking for the bitches that'll go for. We're looking for 4-layer deep motherfuckers. That's what we're looking for. Can I just be honest with you? We are looking for 4-layer deep sons of bitches. We're looking for 4-layer deep daughters of bitches. We're looking for 4-layer deep bitches up in here. We're looking for people that see it one time and say, prove it. See it 2 times and say, prove it again. See it 3 times and say, oh, damn, you got any more? See it 4 times and say, okay, I'm sold. That's the kind of people we want. That's the kind of people y'all are. And if you're not that kind of people, you won't like it here. You won't. You won't like it here. If you're not 4 layers deep, you will not like this. And most of you are shallow as a mud puddle. But you're here. Which means there's hope. There's hope. Daniel, prince that shall come, destroy the city and the sanctuary. Matthew, 24. Matthew 24. When you see the abomination of desolation, Daniel was talking about standing in the holy place. Mark, when you see it standing where it shouldn't be. Luke, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies. Know that the desolation is near. Get the hell out of Dodge. Are Daniel's 70th week and Matthew 24 the same thing or not? What do you think? What do you think? I came into this telling you that all Bible prophecy is one Bible prophecy. And I just took two of the great pillars of Bible prophecy. Ahak prophecy. Daniel's 70th week, abomination of desolation. Matthew 24, and showed you it's the same damn thing. And guess what's coming tomorrow? Tomorrow, I love you. Could he really show us that Revelation is the same as Daniel and Matthew? No way. I am the best in the world at what I do. I am Le Champion. So come tomorrow, you'll see. You'll see. Wow. You know, when you do a really good, sometimes it makes you feel really good. And speaking of really good, as we move into the chat room, let's remind you that not only do we work with Mistech, but we work with the great people at C60 Purple Power. Yes, this is the one that Cliff High said kept him and his wife alive. This is the one that's turning my hair brown without no dye. I'm not that guy. This is the one that is the best antioxidant. It'll keep you completely with a host that is very, very rude to all invaders. And that's what you want. Go to C60purplepower.com. Use the code TCW10 and then use it again every month. And it'll change your life. I promise. So let's go to the chat room, shall we? I'm not sure what Tracy meant by this, but there's a story there. I cannot confirm. I can confirm, not deny, watching them online. There's a story there. Cynthia says, my poor kids. I didn't do nothing to your kids. I grew up with prophecy addiction. My church and household was like a conference. Oh, boy, I know. Guess who used to preach the conferences? This guy. Sorry. Sorry. They look down on us, and nobody's allowed on or around the altar, the platform. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking anyway. They got bouncers now. Yep, they do. I remember getting an argument with Jimmy about why you got bouncers in there, Brother Swagger. That's wrong. No, but they believe the limeade and the Kool-Aid. It is solid gold. Yes, it is. It's solid gold. Oh boy, we got some newbies here. That's okay. Nice. You'll come out of that Kool-Aid. You'll come out of that Kool-Aid. Joe, I'm not bad for a white boy. I got my moments. Let's see. I admit free will, manifestation, multiple timelines are a hobby. I'm divine, sovereign, and free in multiple timelines. I got no problem with that. But the prophets, Do they live the negative words? They put the negative words out there. They try to manifest it to make it true and make it true for you. But I don't think they have any. They're either psychopathic and just want the adulation and the joy that comes from mind raping so many people and harvesting all of their loosh. What do they get out of it? Oh, live. That's right. They live they love the negative words. You're right. They do, because the negative words disempower us and empower them. Negative words always come with Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid, that's what it is. Prophecy cracks, says Kevin Martin. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think the last stick in my give a damn busted today. Good for you, Lydia. My give a damn is busted. Jody Messina, I believe. Fear or love, the only timelines. I'm not sure what that is. RV is in the. Oh, I want to show you something. And I always thought, oh, these bitches is crazy. But let me show you something that makes me wonder. It does. It makes me wonder. Why? Anyway, it does make me wonder a little bit. Let me show you this. And I know it's crazy, but it's not as crazy when you think that this wasn't written and completed till about 200. And it just, how old is the cabal? How connected is the cabal? How detailed is the cabal? How much foresight does the cabal have? How much of even the minutia is cabal oriented? But let me show you what I'm thinking, and you tell me if that's just flat crazy or if maybe. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. I think that's about as big as we can get it. Well, maybe one more. Will it go one more? Sometimes it'll just default back and boom, it looks ugly. Okay, here's one more. So remember, the Bible's written to enslave you and to keep you in the fear and guilt, blood magic control matrix. But because of natural law and because the Romans, they always left a way out. It wasn't much of a way out, but it's part of their game. They leave a way out. You can get through it if you're willing. But anyway, in natural law, there's got to be a key. Watch this. Am I crazy? And I'm going to be looking in the chat room to see what you guys say. Am I absolutely crazy? How deep is the rabbit hole? How deep? Remember, this was written 110, 120 AD. It was backdated, so you think it was written before 70 AD. But it was probably backdated, according to Joseph Atwill, about 70 years. So if they say that Matthew came out in 40, that means it's probably more than 70 with respect to Mr. Atwill. But anyway, it happened, then they backdated it. How deep is the rabbit hole? I'll get to it. I'm kind of embarrassed, to be honest with you, to even bring this up. A little bit embarrassed. When you look at this right here, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. And then it's like, you remember when President Trump said, I want you to go back to the State Department. That's why we call it the Deep State Department, and laughed. Then he walked back to Pompeo, and you could see him say something to Pompeo, and Pompeo just laughs, because I guarantee you, I've talked to Donald Trump. I know what Trump said to him. Trump went back there and said, how'd you like that? And Pompeo did just that. Is this right here a little President Trump aside saying, you know what I'm talking about? But what about that right there? What about that right there? Wink, wink, smile. Is that a freaking emoji? In the Roman Testament, is it an emoji? Is the rabbit hole that deep? I'm going to look for some more of these. Is the rabbit hole that deep? Were they that good? Is pop culture planned and pre-planned down to that level of minutia? And if you believe the Bible's 100% the word of God and you believe in prophecy, minutia means really, really little, like your brain. You with me? I don't know, guys. Is it? Is it? Is there one in Mark? Well, Mark's just kind of like one wink. Interesting. Do you go from Matthew gives you a smiley face? Mark gives you a little, just a wink. And Luke, he was a doctor. He probably didn't give you nothing. No, Luke just boom, there it is. I don't know. You guys tell me. Is that reaching too far? I don't know. Back to the chat room, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. We got what do we got? We got stuff stacking up. We'll get through this. Let's see. Greetings. Thank you, Lydia. Yes. Laugh out loud. She's not talking about emojis yet. I'm way back in the chat. Pastors, preachers, belittle anyone who questions their author. Tie. I'm in a tie, so I gotta be, and I know the author. Ooh, yeah, I can't stand their BS anymore. Oh, thank the little baby Titus in his swaddling diapers laying in a golden manger. Oh, hell yes, there's two trees. I did shoot the deputy. I shot him down with the truth ray. Let's see. They're frauds. What do you think, Clear Blue Skies? What do you say? This is a open chat, so I will look at this and see if it's worth speculating on what Mandela Mile said. I don't know, Mandela Mile. Let me double check. John 10:10. No, nothing there, in my humble opinion. Let's see. Chanting and kneeling. Yep. What else we got? Sounds too mystical. What does Jeff wear in his wrist? Come on, man. Really? Come on, man. Really? Oh, that's some good stuff. Mistech bracelets, brah. I'm with you there, says the ordained heretic. Nice to see you chiming in from the Twitter. We appreciate you very, very much. Thanks for being here. We see what else we got. The blood imagery is what turned me away from the cult life, says Cynthia. Jeff, what do you think about CERN? I don't think about CERN that much. I really don't. Let's see. Kool-Aid dispensaries. Yep, that's exactly what they are. Name's Daniel, and I just turned it on. His name is Daniel, and he just turned it on. That's interesting. I like that. Boom. This is actually interesting, Jama. Grape juice is closer to the color of unoxygenated blood. Ooh, because you know what, Jama? The GOD and his Kool-Aid dispensers, they get the good stuff, the adrenochrome blood. You get the leftovers with just a little bitty left to keep you coming back for more. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I like it. It is a go spell. And it's important to remember, Mandela Mile, that gospel is a term that did not exist until the Roman imperial cult invented it. What? I'm a preacher of the gospel. We preach the gospel. We bring you the gospel. And the word gospel means annunciation of good news of victory of the emperor. That's what the word means. You can't argue that. And how freaking hilarious is it? And how embarrassing is it if you're still doing it? Oh, I'm a gospel believer. You're a special kind of stupid, ain't you? Wow. Tracy is laughing so hard she's crying. Not sure about what, but it's funny. What about these 8 layers? Yeah, I know, bro. 4 is a good place to start, though. 4 is a good place to start. You're only a day away. Tomorrow, absolutely. They take the life out of the blood before dispensing it to you. Absolutely, Tracy. You're right. You're right. You are right. Let's see. What was it? Somebody had a good one, but I missed it. There's so much stuff in here. It's hard to stay up with, and I do my best. Jeff, my question is, if my question is difficult, then block me. Scott, are we cross? Come on, bro. Don't pout. It'll be okay. Thank you, Robert Kramer. Incredible, effing awesome. Good job. I'll take that. I was thinking fresh adrenochrome taken with a needle, purple blood. I don't think so. That isn't the way I see it, but Let's see. Did we get to the end already? How is that possible? I'm a little disappointed. But that's okay. And I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in our crowd. I've worn this shirt several times, and I have not got one comment or one aha about this shirt yet. Little disappointed, but I'll get over it. That's okay. It is a little esoteric, a little subtle, but hey, I thought somebody would catch it. All right, folks. Really, really, really good stuff. Really, really powerful stuff. And we appreciate you for being here. What do you mean you can't see my shirt? How many times I got to wear this thing for you to see it? Folks, I really do appreciate you. And I know this isn't the easiest place to be, but it is the best to be, because the good stuff is never easy. The good stuff is always hard. Always hard. But anything worth having is worth working hard for. And remember, there's no growth in your comfort zone. There's no excitement in your comfort zone. There's nothing remarkable in your comfort zone. You've got to push it in order to find some good stuff. And I know that is very, very easy to fool someone. All you need is a little Kool-Aid. And it's much, much harder to convince people they've been fooled. And it's harder still to just give information and hope people figure it out for themselves. But that's our job. That's why we are the last generation of real humans. That's why we've been selected to be here. Because we're here to unindoctrinate ourselves. We're here to win, and win again. And we're here to show that the world's not bad and getting worse. It's good and getting better. It ain't easy. But it's who we are. It's what we are. And where we are is where we're supposed to be. We're here for a time such as this. We are the last generation of real humans. So unindoctrinate yourself and join me as we get busy.